before we dive in, let me make this clear. Crystal clear. I do not support this. I don't like it one damn bit. Okay, so there's no confusion on where I stand. Just because we're discussing this in the video, it doesn't mean I support it. It doesn't mean I advocate for it at all. And I'm gonna warn you right now, you'll probably get a few ads that pop up if you don't have YouTube Premium in relation to these services, okay? I'm just warning you because for the videos that I'll feature to help me flush out this video and my thoughts, their viewers said they got ads in relation to gambling, betting, Kalshi. That's right, we're here to discuss that. So, Kalshi and StockX. Yeah, let's just bring the degeneracy of gambling and the way it's already overtaking the country, especially young adults. Let's just bring that on into sneakers, okay? Because, you know, resale being able to just have its way in the culture, that wasn't enough. Now we need to speculate on what the possible future resale price will be for a sneaker within the first, I don't know, 7 or so days that it releases.
Oh, come on! One tier! Right!
There's $6.5 million of betting volume on this. Man, why are so many people betting on this?
How did gambling addictions become the rite of passage for college males? Are 19-year-olds all of a sudden statistical geniuses? Or are we enabling a generation of degenerate gamblers and...
It's like we've added an 8th circle of hell, okay? Just for this, just for sneakers. It's like a new... My God, it's like a new door to the upside down has opened. Yes, I can't wait for part 2 of the final season of Stranger Things to drop. The upside down just has to feel like, I don't know, a little bit more logical than this here. Why would we do this? And you guys should know that, like, I'm not in support of this because it would be awesome if the way we push gambling, we pushed more sound investing. And some individuals will watch this video, they'll see anything in relation to Kalshi and how you can bet on the potential future resale price of sneakers. They'll say, well, aren't you pretty much still just speculating when you're investing in the stock market? So why is this an issue? Well, one, I have 57 years of data on the S&P 500. So I at least have an idea, like there's some math in there, there's real history, there are real patterns in terms of a real return that I can expect to get. Been around, again, 57 years. How old is StockX? You guys don't even like to acknowledge Adidas, and they originated in the 1940s, so even before S&P 500. Okay. And Nike didn't come around until a little bit later. And sneaker resale, in terms of it being trackable on a scale to which it is right now, let's say in 2025, that hasn't been around a very long time either. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take the historical returns in the market over the speculation of sneaker reselling. I will. And you can be upset about that. You can want to go the total opposite direction, and that is okay, because a PSA, what you do with your money does not affect me. I do not care. Again, if you want to go spend your last dollar, if you want to run up every single high interest credit card that you can possibly be given by banks, just to be able to get every single sneaker, just to flex, just to have it, you do that. I hope it brings you so much joy. If you want to gamble away every bit of income you have to the point where you have to file bankruptcy and who knows whatever else you may have to go through just because you had to get the high of the bet and the potential win, you do that. I'm not stopping you. This video is not stopping you, okay? May I say it again? I'm not Denzel. You're not Ethan Hawke. You are free to do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm not holding you hostage in a car. I'm not. So, let's move along. What exactly is happening? What is going on with Kalshi and StockX? Well, hey, if you didn't know, November 19th, that was 2 days before my birthday, they put out this announcement that StockX, the leading global marketplace for coveted high demand items, including sneakers, apparel, accessories, blah, 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 today announced a strategic partnership with Kalshi, the first CFTC, we'll get to that, regulated exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events. Through this collaboration, Kalshi will now use aggregated, anonymized StockX market data to inform the creation of event contracts tied to high-profile sneakers and other current culture products. You guys already know what that means, okay? Labubu's, which that craze is like literally already passed, but whatever. This partnership marks the introduction of a new category of event contracts that allow market participants to take positions aka you're betting, on measurable product outcomes, such as whether a product will clear a certain resale price. And those inaugural contracts are now up. Now, we're actually going to go through some examples for these contracts just so you can get an idea, right, of what we're actually dealing with. So I'll throw them up here right now, because if you just go on Kalshi's site and you search, let's just say Jordan, for example, you will find that you had the position for average sales price of the Jordan 4 Retro Black Cat on StockX 7 days after the release. Now, we're not past 7 days for that. So December 2nd, that dropped on what, Black Friday. So yeah, still got some time for that. If you wanted to go ahead and place, I'm not advocating for you to do a damn thing right now. Okay. But that is one of the, items that has an event contract. Let's look at the second one. Average sales price of the Jordan 8 Retro Bugs Bunny 2025 on StockX 7 days after release. That is open, and that is the one we will be using for an example, because it actually has the highest amount of volume at $19,316. I need you all to get hobbies. Like, find something productive to do with your time and your money. And then the last one here, average sales price of the Jordan 11 Retro Gamma Blue 2025 on StockX 7 days after release. Now, this one doesn't have the same volume as that Bugs Bunny 8. Could it gain any traction? I don't know, maybe, because this volume right now is $6,431. If you don't know about this site, you can bet, you can literally take a position on anything, the most idiotic things you probably shouldn't even be able to do that on. So first off, let's just go back, because you saw that I mentioned the CFTC. What is that? Well, let's get some help on that.
How did we get here, and how is this legal? The CFTC, which stands for the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, is a federal agency which oversees markets for futures, options, swaps, and other financial derivatives. Remember the movie The Big Short?
And CDO-B has parts of CDO-A, but then they both get put inside CDO-C.
Yeah, that one's called CDO squared. CDO of a CDO.
Well, the events that movie was based on resulted in the CFTC being given greater regulatory control.
Now, when I hear them, I immediately think of one of my favorite horror movies. Okay, maybe it's not a horror movie, it's like a thriller. Okay, fine, it's like a drama. It's really 2008 mixed with 2020. We could see all of that again with like housing, car loans, buy now, pay later, so many things. There are individuals who will take positions here on the future resale prices of sneakers, and yet won't have a single actual investment account for retirement. Won't have an IRA, a Roth IRA, the first. It's quite like their StockX portfolio in terms of, the sneakers they have in their collection that are dead stock, that they're not wearing, that are eventually going to crumble, having a higher market value than their actual stock portfolio. I just want better for us. I really do. Now, here's a point in this video we'll use, because you know what? This example will make it pretty clear for you.
Prediction market, you're not actually trading on the outcome of the event itself, but you're trading on the value of the event's outcome. In prediction markets, that value is based on the probability of the future event actually happening, which means the value of the contract decreases as the event becomes more certain, or increases as the event becomes more uncertain, mainly because less people are willing to take the trade on an event that is unlikely to happen. So if you take the trade with the smallest probability of happening and you end up being right, you'll walk away as the biggest winner.
Voiceover TJ here. Let's go over an example on the Kalshi website for the Jordan 8 Retro Bugs Bunny 2025. So when you choose to essentially place a bet, you can choose to do so in buying in dollars or buying in number of contracts. This is really no different than if you were actually trying to invest and you're like, hey, I want to buy in fractional shares, dollar amounts. Yeah, it's very similar, but again, this is absolutely betting and not investing to me. So you can see here, again, you can buy in dollars or you can make the decision to buy in contracts. You will need to convert if we want to see like what would it be in dollars versus what is it going to be in contracts. There is a difference, and we will go over that in this example here, just as an FYI. So let's look also based on the example we saw. what would be like that highest payout? And if you guys remember from the example, it's the least likely outcome, or the outcome that essentially no one has faith in, right? The odds are just not in your favor for that specific outcome. We'll look at that for two different outcomes for this Bugs Bunny 8. So as we can see here on the left, the least likely outcome, you can see it's a yes, in terms of the average sales price being above $240. So there's not a lot of faith that that will happen. And you can see when I took the screenshot on StockX, the average price was $231. So I can see why people are saying or speculating that. But again, because it's like the least likely to happen, you can see here that if you were to, let's say, bet $200, that payout is $1,667. Again, less likely to happen, not a lot of faith in there. If we go to the other least likely outcome, or at least what people are thinking is the least likely, on the right, that is centered around if the shoe's average price would be below, or would be above $180. So again, this is a question, would the Bugs Bunny 8 be above $180? Now, most think yes. However, there are some clearly that think no. Not a lot, but some speculate no, that it won't be above $180, which of course would be below the retail price of that shoe. So it wouldn't be the greatest thing for anyone that actually thinks the shoe is going to have resale value. Not my concern. This is just the example. So if you were to put in $200 betting on that based on the least likelihood that it would actually happen, then $953 would be the payout. Okay, for this example broken down to show if you choose to bet based on the number of contracts you would like to execute versus just a flat dollar amount, how that reads will look different, and also what your payout shows will be different, just in terms of the visual aspect of it, not the actual numbers for dollars themselves. So on the left for, speculating, will the average price be above $200? You're saying no for both. You're speculating that no, it will not be for both of these situations here. So on the left, this is based on the number of contracts that you're executing, but as you can see, the estimated dollar cost comes to $199.75. Let's round up to 200. That's based on each contract being 47 cents. Make a profit of $25. On the right, you're simply putting in a flat $200, and you see the exact same payout, $426, and then you can just do the math of the subtraction to say, hey, my take was $226. So a very similar thing again, but this time it's a little bit different. For the Gamma 11, so you're saying no, I don't think it would be above $260. So that's 28 cents per contract. Or if you were trying to get to $200, you would need to execute 715 contracts at 28 cents. Again, it's not very likely that that would occur. So you're on the, definitely you're speculating a lot on that. And you can see the total payout below is actually $715. It just happens to be the same as the number of contracts. But on the right, you're just putting in a flat 200. 715 is the payout. So $515 would be the actual profit you take from this. So again, that's the example on the Gamma 11 coming out. I put the StockX price next to it just so you guys can see based on when I took the screenshot. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an actual side-by-side example, or an opportunity to see what does it look like in terms of, again, if you're betting on the least likely outcome, of course, that has the most upside, but what does that matter if you're also betting with money you can't really afford to lose? So what is my issue with this? One, it's going to entice people to, you're gambling, okay? You're placing a bet because in your mind, because you're into sneakers, you're going to be so confident in where the resale price will fall for any particular retro that they place on their site. I hope this doesn't really just catch fire. I don't. I'm telling you throughout this video, I don't support this, okay? I don't. Hoping, just make that clear. Individuals will be so confident because gamblers are confident. This is where it's false, okay? The confidence that you may have and you just think a lot of you thought the Black Cat 4 was just gonna sit. How'd that work out? So there's a possibility that you would put up money that, one, maybe you do have it and maybe you plan to just have throwaway money. Okay, great. Because if you place the bet and it doesn't work out in your favor, you just kind of burn that money. It's essentially just like lighting it on fire. But you're also going to have individuals that choose to have a position on the future resale price of a sneaker and they don't have it to gamble with. They don't have it to take this position at all. So if they put up, let's just say, I don't know, a $200+ or we'll just say $200, and you don't have it. You know what happens with gamblers? They think, well, this next one I'm going to get it right and I'm going to make back what I lost and I'm going to make more. And that pattern continues until they are deep in the hole and they don't even realize it's starting to erode their actual life, well-being, their financial stability. You're now taking money from things you actually need to do just to make up for your losses. And we're seeing that across the board. I can't stand sports betting.
Let's take a closer look at these so-called risk-free bets that so many now offer. The marketing for this one is highly persuasive and very successful at pulling in new users. And that's pretty understandable. After all, risk-free gambling sounds like heaven, right? It covers the biggest fear most people have, which is the risk itself. But sadly, as is often the case, it isn't nearly as great as it sounds. In fact, it's not even close. Sure, if you join through one of these campaigns, you'd likely get one round where you could bet, lose, and still get your money back. But the trick is, you wouldn't just get the money back ready for withdrawal. No, instead what happens is that you often receive it back in the form of a bonus credit. And if you want to turn this credit into real money again, well, then you need to have placed 5, 10, 15, or sometimes 20 more bets to withdraw. These clever tricks are a theme throughout the rest of the claims they make in their marketing, which all seem like a steal.
I can't. The fact that we legalized it the way in which we did in this country is just adding to the degeneracy, period, especially for young adults. And young kids are already being trained and conditioned for it. They want that dopamine high. They have the mystery boxes and it's in their video games. It spreads and it spreads. And it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. You know why? Because everyone's doing it. Just like credit card debt doesn't seem like that big of a deal because everyone has it. If the average household has $6,000 to $8,000 in credit card debt, then why shouldn't that feel normal? Why shouldn't that be normal? We don't need to make gambling and betting, especially on freaking sneaker resale, a thing. We don't need it. We don't. And you know what? I'm probably going to be in the minority of this because there are individuals that are so for things like buy now, pay later because your immediate instant gratification matters more than anything else. You just need to have whatever you need to have. And people's, again, confidence when it comes to gambling, they're just going to think that, well, I know what this sneaker is going to do. And then what if you don't? And then you can't stop. Could we have, again, companies with platforms as big as StockX? Could you push and advocate for, some financial literacy? People they're already looking at shoes. When shoes started to just be looked at as commodities, that was one of our first red flags. And I don't know that we're ever going to recover from that. Because now all these other portals and doors are opening. Again, it's like the upside down. And there's no 11 to come save us. I'm not going to spoil the show for anybody, but I'm just going to leave it at there's no 11 to come save us. So yeah, you can let me know your thoughts on Kalshi and StockX. The fact that we are bidding on the future resale price within so many days after a retro releases. We are in hell. I can't give you financial advice, but you know what? Before you go and take a position on pure speculation, okay? Please make sure you have 6 months of your emergency expenses put away. 6 months, okay? Please have a retirement fund started. If your employer is offering a match, take it. It's free money. Take it. Make an effort to max out your Roth IRA based on the limit if you qualify. If you make too much and you don't qualify, then you need to be consistently investing, okay? Dollar cost average. I understand that's not sexy and it's not exciting, so therefore it's not appealing to a lot of people because it's not really cool and it's not fun for you to flex, hey, I'm consistently investing, but you know what is? Financial stability when shit hits the fan, especially when you're older and you can't work anymore. So that's all I got. I have no idea what's going on, but I appreciate you tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.